Burkina Faso. The very name means land of the upright people, a nation often overlooked on the map yet filled with an unyielding spirit. Its winds carry stories of resilience, its soil bears the footprints of empires and revolutionaries. Why does Burkina Faso matter? Because here, in this proud landlocked country, courage and conviction are proving that a small nation can stand tall for its destiny. Not long ago, this land was known as Upper Volta under French colonial rule. Independence came in 1960, but true freedom meant more than a new flag. In 1983, a young army captain named Thomas Sankara burst onto the scene, igniting a bold revolution. He challenged imperialism and renamed the country Burkina Faso, land of the upright people, to honor the dignity of its people. Under Sankara's visionary leadership, women's rights, public health, and self-reliance took center stage. He planted millions of trees against the creeping desert, championed local production over foreign aid, and declared, "Our country produces enough to feed us all." Sankara's Burkina Faso shone as a beacon of possibility in Africa, a daring experiment in Pan-African ideals and upright governance. Tragically, Thomas Sankara's revolution was cut short by a coup in 1987. The voice of Africa's Che Guevara was silenced, and for 27 years the country fell under the shadow of autocratic rule. Yet Sankara's spirit lived on in the hearts of Burkina, especially its youth. They called themselves Sankara's children, carrying forward his ideals in whispers and songs even as times grew dark. In 2014, those whispers turned to a roar when a popular uprising toppled the long-time dictator, proving that the dream of a just, people-centered Burkina Faso could not be killed. The upright people refused to kneel. Today, a new chapter unfolds. Enter Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a 34-year-old soldier who, remarkably, is the same age Sankara was when he led the country. In September 2022, amid rampant insecurity and public despair, Traoré seized the moment and took leadership. Now at 36, he is the world's youngest president, a young, charismatic leader in a continent often ruled by elders. With resolve in his eyes, he has vowed to finish what history interrupted. Traoré's rise comes at a time when Burkina Faso faced an existential threat. Terrorists had overrun swaths of territory, forcing 2 million people from their homes. He declared an emergency, donned his red beret, symbol of revolution, and promised to restore security, dignity, and hope. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership has been swift and unapologetic. He expelled foreign forces that for years had a stronghold in his country. By early 2023, French troops who once patrolled Burkina's soil were told to go. Their bases emptied, a bold assertion that Burkina Faso will solve its own problems. In their place, Burkinabe soldiers and patriotic volunteers now stand guard over their homeland. Traoré didn't isolate his nation. Instead, he reached out to neighbors Mali and Niger, forging a new alliance of Sahel states to jointly secure their region on their own terms. It's not really terrorism, it's imperialism. Traoré says of the conflict engulfing the Sahel, "They keep us in a state of permanent war, so we cannot develop, and they continue to plunder our resources." These fiery words have electrified a generation. To many across Africa, Traoré stands tall as a symbol of young people fighting against imperialism, a modern-day David defying Goliath. Beyond the battlefield, Burkina Faso is reclaiming control of its wealth. This nation sits on a treasure trove of resources. It is Africa's fourth largest gold producer, and its soil holds riches like zinc, manganese, phosphate, even untapped diamonds and nickel. For too long, foreign companies mined these riches while the people remained poor. No more. Traoré has nationalized gold mines and built a national gold refinery so that bullion need not be shipped out unrefined. Under a new mining code, the state's share in gold projects jumped from 10% to 15%, ensuring more profits stay in Burkina Faso's hands. This drive for resource sovereignty is about justice. The wealth beneath Burkina's soil must uplift its own people. And it's not just gold. Farmers are being empowered too. Traoré launched an agricultural offensive, providing tools and support for local farmers which has boosted harvests and kept the economy growing even in hard times. In March 2025, Burkina Faso proudly opened its first state-owned dairy plant so that children can drink milk produced by Burkinabé hands. These strides echo Sankara's legacy of self-reliance. The message is clear: Burkina Faso will not remain shackled by dependency. It will create, build, and feed itself with its own resources. Strategically, Burkina Faso sits at the crossroads of West Africa. It shares borders with 6 nations: Mali, Niger, Benin, Togo, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire, linking the Sahara's edge to the Gulf of Guinea coast. This geography makes Burkina a crucial hinge in regional security and trade. When instability hits Burkina Faso, the shockwaves ripple across West Africa. Conversely, a strong and stable Burkina Faso forms a bulwark against chaos in the Sahel. By banding together with its neighbors, Burkina is spearheading a homegrown solution to regional conflicts, proving that African nations can unite to solve African problems. The country's fight against terror and poverty is not just for itself, but for the peace and progress of a whole region. In forging a new alliance free from outside meddling, Burkina and its partners are charting an independent path. This stance forces the world to take note. The fate of West Africa will be decided in Ouagadougou, Bamako, and Niamey, not in Paris or Washington. Perhaps the greatest importance of Burkina Faso today is symbolic. In the eyes of millions of Africans, especially the youth, Burkina Faso has become a beacon of hope. A new Pan-African spirit is stirring, and Captain Traoré has fanned its flames. His passionate calls for sovereignty and unity echo the dreams of Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and Thomas Sankara. Young people from Dakar to Nairobi are watching Burkina Faso and thinking, if they can reclaim their destiny, why can't we? On social media across Francophone Africa, Traoré's portrait in his fatigues and red beret is shared like that of a folk hero. He's celebrated as a champion of anti-imperialism and African dignity. This tiny nation, once dismissed as a periphery, now commands the center stage of an African awakening. It stands as proof that the era of neo-colonial tutelage is drawing to an end, that a proud African country can demand respect on its own terms. For Africa's youth, Burkina Faso's stand tells them to dream with eyes open, to believe that a new generation can finally fulfill the promise of independence won decades ago. Burkina Faso's journey is not easy. Great journeys never are. Challenges persist: security threats, poverty, pressure from powerful outsiders. Yet, there is a palpable energy of rebirth in the air. The youthful leadership in Ouagadougou is refusing to accept that Africa's destiny is to remain impoverished or subservient. People's Dispatch. Org, People as Dispatch. Org. They are tapping into a wellspring of national pride and collective memory, reviving Sankara's legacy in modern form. When the government renamed a major avenue from Charles de Gaulle to Thomas Sankara, People as Dispatch. Org. It signaled a break from the colonial past and an embrace of an African future. Across the continent, people took notice. A line from a Burkinabé poem declares, even the smallest bird, flying with courage, can disrupt the sky. Today, Burkina Faso is that small bird with mighty courage. Its stand for sovereignty and justice is disrupting old arrangements and inspiring others to rise. Why does Burkina Faso matter? Because its fight is far larger than its borders. It matters to the young African dreaming of a better tomorrow, to the old farmer hoping for dignity in his toil, and to every nation charting its own path free of domination. Burkina Faso matters because it reminds the world that principles of freedom, pride, and self-determination are worth fighting for, and that those principles can be upheld by even the most underestimated people. In the story of this brave country, we see the essence of the Pan-African dream made alive, the belief that Africans can shape their own destiny. As the sun sets over Ouagadougou, the echoes of La Patrie ou la Mort, Nos Vaincrons, Fatherland or Death, We Shall Overcome, fade into a determined calm. The upright people of this land are on their feet, unbowed. That is why Burkina Faso matters today, and for generations to come. Burkina Faso's recent transformation and impact, Traoré's leadership and policies, resource wealth and economic potential, strategic role in West Africa, and its inspiring role in Pan-African movements.